Jai Hind everyone, welcome back to the current affairs classes. These classes are taken in a very comprehensive manner so that we can cover all the aspect of UPSC as well as UPPCS examination. At every stage, these topics are very relevant. Either it could be at the prelims stage or the mains stage, or it could be at the interview stage. What you have to do, you have to be very careful when you are watching these videos, and you should also try to revise the PDF that we provide after the class. This, these PDFs are posted at our Telegram channel. The Telegram channel you can join by clicking here. Okay, so this is the Telegram channel. It's Patriotic IS, on the name of Patriotic IS, Gorakhpur. Okay, so let's start the topic. First topic that we will start from the sequence of the UPSC pattern and the PCS pattern, that we start with the GS paper 1. So GS paper 1 include history, society and geography. So first topic that today we have seen into the newspaper is the peculiar political position of chieftains of the Dangs. So here it has been discussed that this Dangs is the area, and here there are so many tribal community. One of the tribal community that has been discussed is the Bhil tribal community, and how they have been treated by the government after the independence. So here it is discussing about the post-independence situation of India and how Indian government has dealt with these hill communities. Okay. So here it has been discussed that after after the independence, we have seen that the most of the kings, princely state, they have been treated in a very respectful manner. But here you will see that those from the Bhils community, they also consider themselves as the ruler of this area of the Gujarat, but they were not treated as it was done by the other princely states and the princes. Here you will see that in the many of the letters, while the princely states, other princely states, they have been addressed as His Highness, but these Bhils has been here. It has given that this Bhils has been just considered as the illiterate people. They will not able to manage their money, whatever the titles, whatever the entitlements that was provided to the kings under the instrument of accession. All these things, like I am talking about the instrument of accession, these are associated with the post-independence India, when when we got independence from the Britishers, and when we tried to integrate all the princely state. Those princely states who are not ready to integrate with India, we forcefully or by the persuasion we tried to sign in an instrument of accession so that it could be peacefully integrated. The princely states could be peacefully integrated. So all these thing has been discussed here. So you will see that what has been the treatment of these Hills community. One thing you should know about these Hills communities, the education level is still very low, and the condition of schools, hospitals, roads, all is not in the good conditions. So here all these things have been discussed. It has been discussed into the under the our historical context as well. It was the Lord Mountbatten who tried to merge the region with the Bombay Presidency, and after that how separately the hills were dealt by the further independent India. All these things have been discussed here. In the past, the Wheels have taken government to the court over the Indian government's unilateral decision to co-opt them into the Indian state. So here, there was the resistance from the Wheels to be integrated into the Indian Union. That has been given here, ruled it to be in public interest. So here, it was not accepted that, it was accepted that yes, the integration was into the public interest. Present condition has been linked with their what was they have all these Wheels community, they consider that they are the protector of the forest land. Now the forest land is being deforested on the name of the development and different other activities, and they are considering that still their rights that has been even promised under the Forest Right Act that has not been fulfilled, and there is the violation of the Forest Right Act as well. So please remember this. This Forest Right Act is one of the very significant act to safeguard the interest of the tribal people. It ensured that these tribal people can claim their right into the land where they are residing for the generations. Beside that, they have right to the minor produce of the forest area, and as well as in the administration of the forest area. This all rights is provided by the Forest Right Act of 2006. Please remember all these things. UPSC has asked in 2015-16, I think, in the mains that please provide some of the legislation after the independence that provide protection and safeguard to the tribal people. So one of the laws and legislation is the Forest Right Act. Beside that, you can also mention the SC/ST's provision of the Atrocities Act of 1989. So all these laws and the legislation are to safeguard and protect the rights of the tribal people. Here one of the example is given that what is the condition, religious condition of these hills? Most of them are still under the Hindus, and near about 9% they have under the Christianity. And here it is also mentioned that they have lost their main religion, main belief system and the custom. Here it has given that how they were using this stones for their worship, but now this has been replaced by the shivlings and those elements that is associated with the Hinduism. So here you will see that previously they were used to create some stone infrastructure, but now this has been replaced by this. So this has been also mentioned in this news article. Next news that we are going to cover is here it is given that the Vance visit Italy, Vatican after the tangling with the Pope and migration. So here you should locate in the map where is the Rome. Rome is the capital of the Italy. Then you should locate the Vatican City as well. Where is the Vatican City? Please respond. Please respond at the chat panel so that we could make this session more interactive. All of you, please, those who are attending the classes, please open your map and locate the Italy. And what is the country, what is the seas that is making the border with the Italy? Please mention, please reply. On the northern side, which? Let me open the map. Is it visible? This is the Italy. Where is the Rome? Rome is the capital. It is situated here. And here you will find the Vatican City just beside this. Is it visible? I hope everyone could see this Vatican City and the Rome. Then you should also locate the seas on the northeastern side. It is the Adriatic Sea. Here, Adriatic Sea. This is looking like the map of Italy is like the leg of a woman with the hill. So here you will see that the Adriatic Sea at the northeastern side, southern side it is the southeastern side it is the Ionian Sea here. I hope this is visible. And in the western side it is the Tyrrhenian Sea. Here it is given Tyrrhenian Sea. Please remember this. And Ligurian Sea, this is at the northern northwestern side. So please remember all these things. And further, if you will go, that separate the Europe from the Africa, this is the Mediterranean Sea. So please locate all these things. This is the Sicily. This is also part of the Italy, but this is separate island here. Sicily is very much important when you will study the integration of Italy. So Sicily has been very much central role for the integration of overall this Italy, and also the Sardinia is also part of Italy. This is separate island, but this is part of Italy. Also, you will see that the one part, this overseas territory of the France is here. So if there is the question that yes, Italy and France make a maritime boundary, so this is true because France has many overseas territories. So please remember all these things. Vatican City is separated sovereign body, and this is mainly separated so that we can locate the religious affairs of the Christianity separate from the main administrative and governance affairs. So it was result of the Renaissance movement, and it was also result of the reformist movement during 14th and 15th century. So please remember all these things. Here we will open again the map of Europe. Here you will find the map of Europe again, and here you will find this is the France, part of the France is here, and here it is the Sardinia, here it is the Sicily, and Tyrrhenian Sea is here, and Strait of Bonifacio. Please locate all these things. These are very important. UPSC can ask these strait and these oceans, and they will ask the location. So Gulf of Ligurian is situated here. Leon Sea or Neon Sea, so all they are situated just adjacent to each other. Greece is here. Just by the curiosity, you should locate different areas so that you should have the natural recognition of the different location into the map. Next important news that we will cover, that mob beats to death man from the Pakistan Ahmadiyya minority. So here you will see that in Pakistan it is not the Hindus that are persecuted, it is the some section of the Muslim, they are themselves being persecuted on the name of the differences between the religious following. So please remember this, Ahmadiyya is one of the minority. They are very much persecuted in the Pakistan because they have the different belief from the mainstream Islam. The mainstream Islam in the Pakistan is Sunnis, and Ahmadiyya is one of the section that was started in the 18th century, and it was on the some of the deviation from the original belief of the Sunni Islam. So you should remember all these things. This was the reason that recently when there was the Citizenship Amendment Act was amended, and it was considered that in the Pakistan only Hindus are persecuted. So that's why at that particular time it was argued that it is the Ahmadiyya minority. Yesterday we studied about the Daudi Bohra community. They are also minority into the Pakistan. Despite they belong from the Islam Muslims, but they are persecuted. One of the example that is given here. So we discussed during the Citizenship Amendment Act that the religion should be ignored. Instead of we should include the persecution basis. Whoever is persecuted, they should be provided speedy citizenship in India. That was the main thing that we have been observing, that it was the main controversial point with respect to the Citizenship Amendment Act. I hope this is clear. Next sections that we will cover from the GS paper 2, Polity, Governance, International Relation. First topic that we are going to take is the restoration of sanity to constitutional system. So again, this is the repeated topic that is related to the recent Supreme Court judgment, and Supreme Court judgment under which act, please respond. Those who are watching online, you can respond so that we could make our session more interactive. Recently, the judgment under that, the time limit for giving the assent for the governor and president that is associated with what is the name of the case, judgment. What is the name of Supreme Court case? Please reply. Okay. So the name of the case is the Tamil Nadu, the state of Tamil Nadu versus governor of the Tamil Nadu and other cases. Please remember, whenever you have to write any point, if you are writing the case name, this will be advantageous for you. So here it has been mentioned, as already we have seen that it was mainly related to the governor's position with respect to the article 200 and 201 already we have discussed. Today we will see that this power of giving assent under article 200 and 201 for the state level, particularly to the governor, at the national level, union level, it is the with the president. Under the president, it is under article 111. Okay. The judgment was given by Supreme Court under Article 142. Already we have seen that Article 142 that gives extraordinary power to the Supreme Court to order or the give decree or the any of imposition for the doing the complete justice. That already we have discussed. One more thing that has been mentioned in this article that is you should know is Article 145. 145. Anyone have idea that 145 is associated with which power and which area? It is associated with the Supreme Court, but what is the area? Anyone? It is associated with the constitutional bench. Article 145, please open. This is Article 145 and it's talk about the rules of the court. Okay, so here it has been given the legislative power of the Supreme Court that they can make the rules as to person practicing before the court. They can make rules as to procedure for the hearing appeals, a different type of the thing. So whenever the question comes that what are the legislative power of the judiciary and how there is the sum of the exception of the separation of powers. So one of the exception is this Article 145. It is clearly giving the law, any law made by the parliament, subject to the any law made by the parliament. Supreme Court may from time to time with approval of the president make rules. So here the makes rules means legislative power. So this is the legislative, one of the legislative power of the Supreme Court. In this further it is given under section clause 3 that whenever anything that is referred to the Supreme Court, particularly under Article 143 of the Constitution talk about the referential power of the President, power of President to refer the thing or the consult with the Supreme Court. So the President have power that whenever he feel that there is some of the area that is not clear that what does our constitution is saying or I am not able to comprehend the thing, so we can ask to the Supreme Court to interpret that what is mean by this. Or there is, if there is the question of the substantial law that impact lot of life or the lot of area of this, our constitution, in that case President can ask from the Supreme Court their view, their opinion on this. Okay. So here whenever such type of the question is asked, so the question comes that how many judges will decide? Will it be single judge or the two judge bench or the three judge bench? To answer this, it is provided under Article 145 and clause 3 that whenever such type of the question is asked to the Supreme Court, the number of judges always will be 5 or the more. It should not be less than 5. Please remember that this is known as the constitutional bench. Is it clear? I hope this is clear that this section clause 3 of Article 145 this talk about how much judges will be there if there is a constitutional bench. So we are studying about the concept of the constitutional bench, and constitutional bench will be considered if the number of judges will be 5 or the more. So please remember constitutional bench. Constitutional bench. What will be the number of judges here? It will be the 5, and this comes under Article 145. Please remember this. So here, two articles we now have newly considered. The first is that Article 143. Article 143 gives power to the President that they can ask to the Supreme Court about the opinion of any of the clause, any of the areas of the what? Constitution of India. If who is the final interpreter of the Constitution? It is the judiciary and it is the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court give interpretation. So whenever there is the confusion with regard to the what will be the law, what will be the meaning of this particular article or the clause, it will be asked by the President to the Supreme Court, and this power comes under Article 143. So Article 143, this is associated with the power of President to consult and ask opinion from the Supreme Court. Okay, this side is the response screen, so I will watch in this side to see your responses. You can give your response, and here we will be discussing on all these things. So please make this session more interactive. The classes, the discussion of newspaper, particularly the current affairs classes for the English medium, the timing is 9:30. In the case of the delay, it will always start by the 10 a.m. 9:30, this is the normal timing. In the case of delay or the any of the emergency cases, this will be start by the 10 a.m. This will be the regular classes. You can watch these classes. Beside that, if you want to watch this in bilingual or the Hindi, it will be the 2:30, that will be timing for the discussion. So please note down, and the notes you can download from our Telegram channel. So please, and you can ask your queries, your doubts on the official number of Patriotic IS, that is 9971 9971932488. This is the official number. I will note down here. The official number of Patriotic IS to ask any of the doubt or any of the query, you can ask at the 9971932488. The timing for discussion of the Hindu in English language, it is 9:30. This will be regular between Monday to Saturday AM, and for the Hindi medium it will be 2:30 PM. It will be between Monday to Saturday. So we were discussing article that is talking about the how the recent judgment by the Supreme Court is impacting the power of governor and president under Article 200, 201 and 111. Main thing that we should consider here is that this article also gives the veto power to president and governor. Here you will see that if you will talk about under Article 111, for any act, any bill to be considered as the final act, the assent of governor and president is must. This is necessary. So any act is not possible until and unless it get the assent, consent of the governor at the state level and the president at the union level. Here you will see that the 111 that's talk about that if the bill is passed by the both houses of our parliament, it will go to the president, and president has following options. The first option, he can give the assent to the bill, thereby the law will be enacted. If he gives the assent, law will be enacted. He can withhold his assent. So this is known as the vetoing, means you deny your assent. If you will deny anything to anyone, that will be considered under the vetoing or the veto power or withhold the assent. So here this gives a new concept that is known as the veto power. Veto power. So veto power we will further see, and even one option that the president has is that he can return the bill. if it is not the money bill. In the money bill, either he can withhold his assent or give the assent, not for the reconsideration. Okay. So after the reconsideration, it is the power of the president that he can send again to the parliament a bill for the reconsideration, asking the parliament or the state legislature at the governor level to think again, and if you are agree, you can send again the bill. If it is sent again, then it is compulsion for the president or the governor to give its assent. Okay, please be very much clear. What happens with the Constitutional Amendment Act? Please respond. Any one of you know that what will happen if there is the Constitutional Amendment Act that is forwarded for the assent to the president? Is it possible that Constitutional Amendment Act can be sent to governor? Please answer. Okay. This is not possible that the Constitutional Amendment Act is being sent to the governor. It is always to the president. President has power to give his assent or anything that is at the parliament level, not at the state legislative level. So here, for the Constitutional Amendment Act, the president must give its what? Its assent. And it was done by the Constitutional Amendment Act. It was 24th Constitutional Amendment Act in 1971. It was during the tussle between the Supreme Court and the Parliament, and by that it was the Parliament who brought 24th Constitutional Amendment Act, and they made it mandatory for the President to give its assent in the case of Constitutional Amendment Act. You will see that there are the different type of the veto power. We could talk about the absolute veto. What is mean by the absolute veto? Absolute veto means president withhold its assent. So president is not giving his assent. That is known as the absolute veto. Very rare case. Absolute veto is not possible because yes, it is the power of the president, he can do. But generally it is the rubber stamp. President role in India is as the rubber stamp, just it is the titular, not it is the real power. And the president always act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. Though in the most of the cases, the president have to give its assent. Is there possibility that there is any case that he can withhold its assent? There is the possibility because the president has to act under the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. Any one of you, this is very much this is very important question, that whether the president can give. It shows that how much deeply you are analyzing when you study your constitution. Anyone? So here, yes, president can withhold his assent. For example, if the bill is private member bill. In the private member bill, this is not aid and advice, this is not from the Council of Ministers. Private member bill means anyone except the minister can go with the bill. In that case, the president can withhold. One more situation is there. When think that one government was there, they passed some bill and it reached to the president for the assent, but president has not given his assent, his or her assent, and in the meantime, the government falls. The government loses majority and new government comes and it suggests that you should not give your assent. In that case, the president can withhold. So there is the two practical cases that absolute veto can be exercised by the president. One is in the case of private member bill, and second in the case of if there is the fall of the government and new government comes and advise the president that withhold its assent. In that case, the president can withhold its assent. So further it has given, the second is the suspensive veto. What is the suspensive veto? Suspensive veto is the case when president sent a bill again for the reconsideration to the parliament. Always remember that in the money bill case, president cannot return the bill. Okay. So this is not known as a suspensive veto because it is suspended for some time. The parliament again think about this bill and again if it's sent again, so it is compulsion for the president to give its assent. So here it is written that the president must give its assent in such cases. If you will compare with the American Constitution, the power of president in the American case. So whenever you compare the American Constitution and particularly the power of the president and functioning of the president, one of the difference is the qualified veto that is there into the US. This is not in the India. Please remember this thing. The second is the pocket veto. What is mean by the pocket veto? Pocket veto means you keep something in the pocket and forget that. This is mean by the law itself. We have seen that this case of the Tamil Nadu government judgment where the Supreme Court came up with the what? Came up with the limitation, time limit for the passing of the bill. In this case, we saw that it was the time limit in the constitution that is not mentioned. Please watch again. See, refer article 200. If you will refer, already we have referred many times in the previous sessions, you will find that there is no limitation. The only thing that has been mentioned is as soon as possible. So here it is the interpretation by the judiciary. They have brought that it should be the 1 month, minimum 1 month and maximum 3 months. Within that the president have took the decision. So if it is not mentioned the time limit, the governor or the president can keep this suspended, this bills for the suspended for the very long time. We saw that in the case of Tamil Nadu, it was for the many years. Even in the case, not only in the case of the Tamil Nadu, we have seen such cases in the case of Kerala, we have seen it is in the case of West Bengal, we have seen it in the case of Delhi, Punjab, all wherever there was the party that is not those party that is opposition to the party into the center, power into the center, at that particular places we have seen the resistance of the giving the assent. So here you will see that the pocket veto is that type of the suspension of giving the assent to the bill without any constraint of the time. So this was only due to the absence of the time limit into the constitution for giving assent to the any bill. So please remember all these things. Case study, one of the very famous case with respect to the this pocket veto was the Gyani Jal Singh. And in the case of the Gyani Jal Singh, it was at that particular time Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister, and there was the some of the they were at the not good terms. The president and the prime minister were not at the good terms, and one of the laws that was passed by Parliament was on the postal services, and under that law, it was giving a lot of power to the executive, particularly to the police, to intercept the postcard and the post that was sent by the people. So it was considered that this was the violation of the privacy. This was giving the lot of power to the executive and the surveillance power on the common man to the executive and the police. And that's why it was criticized, and during all its terms, it was held by the president. And next government, when it was formed, they suggested that please withhold your assent, and that particular time it was rejected by the president. So this is a very classical case. What could be the purpose behind this veto power? The first thing is that preventing the hasty legislation. We see that whenever there is the many times Parliament saw that yes, there is some of the expedition, they make the laws without giving lot of deliberation or the discussion, debate. In that case, President has the chances, he can think, ponder upon the bill, and he can use this veto power so that the people can also think that what could be the repercussion of such type of the bills. Okay. Next, you can mention that this can curb the populist legislation. Many times government in the power, they legislate only considering about their vote bank. They don't think that how this is going to impact overall societal interest or the national interest. In that case, president can prevent such type of the act to be passed. And next thing is that it also protect the national interest, again on the same manner. So these are the things you should remember. Next important news that has been considered is the NCLAT. This is the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal that set aside BCCI Riju plea on the Byju's. So you should know that what is this National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Here there is the sum of the dispute between the Byju. This is the educational platform. Already it comes with the so much disruption into the this education service business. And there was some of the advertisement done by the BCCI. There was some contract that was obligation. BYU was obligation to pay some money, and this is the main thing. But the core thing that you should know about the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. This is part of GS Paper 2 Governance section, and here it acts as a quasi-judicial body. So here you will see that this is the quasi-judicial body, and this was brought under the Company Act of 2013. So main power it's draw from the Company Act of the 2013. What is the main thing? Here it is the appellate body, means some where there is already the judgment that is coming from the lower court, and from the lower court when you are not satisfied you go for the higher court to appeal. So here before going to the high court or the supreme court, there is the one body that has been established so that we can reduce the congestion, or we can reduce the high burden on the High Court and Supreme Court. That's why we have provided this specialized body, that is the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Please remember. And by the what act they are coming? This is coming by the Company Act of 2013, and it's mainly here the appeals from the National Company Law Tribunal, in Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of the India, and also from the Competition Commission of the India, all wherever there is the sum of the judgment and this is not satisfied by the consumer or this organization. So appeal it can be here at the NCLAT. NCLAT. This is the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. I hope this is clear. Anyone have any confusion, please ask your doubts and queries. Next important news that we are going to cover is the Sudan camp assault survivors in disastrous condition. So here it is report from the Doctors Without Borders. So what is Doctors Without Borders? What type of the body is this? This is part of UN or not? Please answer. Anyone? What is this is associated with the UN or this is not part of UN? How many of you think that this is part of UN? Doctors Without Border. Please answer. I am waiting for your answer. So Doctors Without Borders, this is a type of NGO, non-profit organization at the national, international level, and it is situated into the where? The full form is the Medicine Sans Frontiers, and it is situated into the Paris, France. It was established in 1971, and mainly its work into the humanitarian crisis condition. Whenever there is the war, there is the conflict, there is the violence, there is the atrocities. In that case, it provides the medical assistance. It also provides the food assistance, okay? And also it tried to keep some principle at its core. For example, they always try to maintain impartiality. They do neutrality and bearing the witness. Okay, all this thing is avoided. So here you will see that the mainly the first priority gives to the medical ethics and medical assistance. Also, it's provide the some of the cases food assistance and other thing as well. Next important news, we will enter into the GS paper 3. And here the first news that we will take is the FBI arrest suspended BKI operative wanted in the Punjab terror case. So here पंजाब आतंकवादी मामलों में वंचित BKI operative को गिरफ्तार किया गया. Mainly here this is the political news, but what we want to consider under our discussion is the bonus phone to evade the capture. So what is mean by the burner phones to evade the capture? What is mean by this? Any one of you please respond. This is just a type of the mobile phone that you can get it into the form of prepaid mobile device, and you don't have to provide the personal identification. So if you are not going to provide the personal identification, so how you can use? You can hide your identity. You can work in anonymity, and in that case, who could be using this? Who could be using this if they want to work into anonymity or hiding their identity? It could be where? It could be used for the criminal activities or the some of the underground activities. And again, this you will see that the Babal Khalsa International, these are they are the terrorist group, and their main demand is the separate countries, particularly for the Sikhs. So this is the thing. Here you will see that the law enforcement can track this. How they can track this? They can go for the call details, and if they will analyze the call details, they will see that call time, duration, and they can locate the person. So this is the one of the way to particularly if they have to handle this type of the devices that is known as the burner phones. Next important news that we are going to take is the steering the decarbonization of Indian logistics sector. So here it is talking about the decarbonization and where it is wanting decarbonization into the logistics sector. So what is mean by the decarbonization? Decarbonization means you have to remove the carbon from the environment. That is mean by decarbonization. Carbonization means you are adding carbon into the environment. So decarbonization, and from where? This is particularly from the logistics sector. What is the logistics sector? Mainly we are talking about the logistics sector. So anyone please give your reply. What is mean by logistics sector? No response? Okay. Logistics sector, mainly it is the transportation sector, loading, unloading, mainly in the area of the trade and businesses. It also could be for the passenger transportation, but whenever you talk about the logistic, this is mainly associated with the trade of goods and services and the transportation, loading, unloading, and all other activities that is associated with all these things. So here you will, this is mainly talking about the Viksit Bharat is not possible without the logistic vision. Logistic is very important to, you have to deploy your raw material so that you can produce the thing. You have to connect the, where the goods, commodities are producing with the consumers. Again, transportation is needed. Logistic is very important also in deciding what will be the competitiveness of the businesses. If your logistics sector is not competitive, not efficient, you will be not competitive into the international market, because those who are competitive, they will reduce their cost by reducing their by increasing their efficiency. If they can reduce their cost, they will be more competitive. Beside that, it also decides that the delay in the delivery of the commodities. If there is the delay in the transportation, it means that there is the chances that in the transportation, the time that is consuming, they will impact the quality of the those product that is perishable. For example, it could be the vegetable or it could be the horticulture that is perishable, and if the logistics is not efficient, they can rot, they can waste in the transportation. That's why the logistic is very important. In India, this article is talking about the mostly our logistic is dependent on the road transportation. What could be the method of logistic movement? It could be the road, it could be the rail, it could be the inland waterway. In waterway, it could be the inland with the help of the rivers, it could be the international marine, and yes, it could be the use of the coast and the seas. So here you will see that the most of India's logistic is based on the road sector. 90% of our logistic is based on the road transportation, and that's why the emission is very high. You will see that the alone logistics sector, if there is the 100 quantity of the carbon is emitted, greenhouse gas is emitted, 13.5 coming from the logistics sector. So you can see that what is the contribution, that is very high, and 90% of this you will see that that is moving by the road transportation, near about 90 to 88% emission. And here you will see that the government policy plan to triple inland water traffic and the coastal cargo. So in the future, it could be reduced. But the thing is that the waterways that we have made under our policies or we have envisaged to be developed into the future is not quick. This is very slow, and you can imagine that out of 106 waterways that we have made under our plan, we have declared as the national waterway, only 6 is operational. 100 are not operational. So this is the condition. If this is the condition, how we could achieve this efficiency? So it is very much a tough and challenging task to complete all these things. You should also know that the India want to achieve not net zero carbon emission. So we are aiming to achieve this net zero carbon emission by 2070. So please remember, what is mean by the net zero carbon emission? It means that whatever the carbon we are absorbing by different way, like the afforestation or the different other method, this quantity should not be more than, less than the carbon we are emitting. So this is the net zero carbon emission. I hope this is clear to you. So here it mentioned that what we need to focus. We need to focus on the waterways, and in waterways also you will see that there are the regulation. One of the international body under the UN, United Nations, that regulate the water transportation is the International Maritime Organization, IMO, and this has brought a plan to reduce the global shipping emission by the 50%. Already we know that the waterway is the most efficient. We should shift toward the waterway, and at the global level, international trade is being done at the water bodies. 95% of the trade is done by the shipping. So please remember all these things. What could be the other way to improve the logistics efficiency, or we can reduce the carbons or the carbon dioxide or the greenhouse gases? The first thing we can go for we can adopt new technology, and new technology that provide the cleaner fuel such as the ammonia, hydrogen, LNG, biofuels, methanol, and electricity. Electricity, particularly those electricity produced by the renewable energy, or the method by that we cannot, we are not emitting lot of CO2 or the greenhouse gases. I hope this is clear. One thing that we can reduce carbons in the environment uh, in area of the logistics sector, one is by what? One is by we are shifting from the road transportation to the railway or the waterways. Second is that we can move to the modern technologies that use the cleaner fuel, and cleaner fuel could be the ammonia, it could be the hydrogen, it could be the biofuels. What could be the what is the biofuels? Fuels that is generated by the plants and other organic components, and electricity, mainly renewable energy. Please remember all these things. Air transportation is very difficult to reduce the cost, particularly the carbon's emission from the air transportation. The technology is still that is not has been in the picture till now, and there is very less cargo transportation by the airport. Mostly airway is used for the passenger transportation. Next news, Indian electronics manufacturer trusted for the respecting IP. So you can use that whenever you are writing that how India can improve its trade to the other countries. One of the example that the trust we have created under the IP. However, there are the many other example that where the IP sector in India is not trusted, but in case of electronics, it is talking about we have trusted as per the statement. This is given by our Union Minister for the Electronics and Information Technology, that our electronics department sector is very much reliable and the respect, getting respect for the intellectual property rights. Next news is the Supreme Court has overturned the Delhi High Court's order that this directed Wikimedia to take down a Wikipedia page based on a defamation case filed by the ANI, Asian News International. You always see this mic, ANI mics. So the case was that ANI, there was one of the Wikipedia page where it was mentioned that this ANI is very much associated with the government and it is biased. Such type of the line was there. And this ANI approached to the Supreme Court, and in Supreme Court they say that this type of the statement defaming us and it is costing us. So Wikipedia should remove that particular line. But the Wikipedia said that this is not the defamation case, this is the thing that is very genuine and it is coming from the different editor, the process of editing. Here one thing that is given about this you should know is the internet here is the safe harbor principle, and safe harbor principle, this is for those platform like the social media platform, it could be YouTube, it could be Instagram. It's under the safe harbor provision. Whenever there is the some of the thing that is illegal that is posted on this platform, like in Wikipedia, if someone has Wikipedia is not that there is a Wikipedia team that is writing all the things that is done, all the content that is at the Wikipedia, they are done by the volunteers, but the volunteers are verified by the Wikipedia. But the thing is that most of the thing is volunteer on the volunteer basis. So whenever there is the platform like the Wikipedia, YouTube, Instagram, or anywhere when there is the some of the content that is posted and this is considered as if it is considered that this is the illegal or this is causing some riot or anything, in such cases who will be held guilty if this is found that the content is very much provocative or it's causing the riots or any such thing that is punishable. So in that case, it is the platform that is not considered as the guilty or the responsible. It is the person who has posted who will be considered as the responsible or the guilty. So here this is under the safe harbor principle, that it is not the platform that will be considered as the responsible or the guilty. So please remember this safe harbor principle. So this is all about from the today's news. Here we will conclude our session. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.